And what we are believing is being free of doing, saying, thinking, practicing, and wearing what we want to wear. And I don't think a law that is going to tell you you have to change the way you dress.
My parents brought me to America for education, and I didn't want to disappoint them. And I couldn't even share this with my parents because they were working so hard. And my dad was a street vendor, working on the street. And the last thing he needed was to see his child suffering, I used to be shoved against the wall and then pushed on the stairs. And this was in junior high school. And then when I went to high school, I don't know about other countries, but in America it's tough, especially in New York City. I was called as a Batman, Ninja, Mother Teresa. I would literally have students wait outside my classroom to pull off my hijab, And I remember specifically, a bunch of students actually surrounded me outside the school to spit at me. It was really scary, but you know what? I kept on wearing the hijab. I was like, I have to die one day anyway. I am not going to let anyone take away my identity, Muslim identity, because I was so proud of it. I remember this little girl, she was 14 years old. She's from the UK, and she said, Nazma, I went to my class, and I had students remove my hijab and put gum in my hair. And that actually broke my heart. It actually took me to my childhood era. And then at that very moment, it was like I realized I wasn't the only one who was going through discrimination for simply choosing to wear the hijab. So I was like, I have to do something about this, I thought about, okay, what if I asked women from all over the world, irrespective of their faith, to wear the hijab? So maybe they would understand that, what? It's not as bad as it is portrayed by the media. No, we're not hiding a bomb. We're not going to blast. So that idea stayed in my head for 3 years, and I was like, I was like, let's just call that World Hijab Day. I launched, a project, this movement called World Hijab Day, asking women from all over the world to wear the hijab for a day, to bring awareness and to understand the hijab better. I didn't even expect anything. I just wanted to change one person's mind, to be honest with you. I didn't know anything about where it was going to go, anything like that, right? But to my surprise, within a week or so, women from 67 countries heard my call. We had so much support from all over the world, especially the US, Canada. I remember this little girl. Her name was Emma. I think she was 6 or 7 years old. She was a Christian girl. She literally took hijab to her school to educate her classmates, a 6-year-old. Can you imagine that? That gave me hope. I was like, okay, this is a hope for my next generation, that they would not have to go through what I went through, After 10 years of doing this, we are so happy to see conversations that's taking place, which never took place. For instance, schools all over the world are taking place in World Hijab Day. Universities and workplace and political sectors are, taking part in World Hijab and changing the narrative, which is portrayed sometimes by propaganda campaigns and media especially. We also have workshops which we'll be offering for schools, which they can take part in as well, to educate the people, the students and the teachers, because there's a lot of discrimination against Muslim students in the States taking place.